Hey guys, we are back for a brand new episode of the podcast, episode 32, and today we have a very special interview with Uwais Magic Majeed, who is a personal trainer and boxing coach to fighters such as Shweb Yousef. I'd like to thank Shaheen MMA management for this interview. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and press the bell notification. Check it out. Hello guys, it's Hammad from MMA Diagnosis, and today with me I have a very special guest. He's a boxing coach and a personal trainer, Mr. Uwais Magic Majeed. How are you, my brother?
Assalamu alaikum, I'm well, brother.
Salam.
Well, man. You good?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm good. So, you're from Lancashire, right? So
Yeah, I'm from Lancashire, a place called Burnley.
Burnley, all right.
I'm born and raised in Burnley.
All right.
Yeah, man.
And so speaking about Burnley, for someone who hasn't been there like myself, how would you explain growing up? Because I asked Shoaib, but he didn't give a very descriptive answer. So I want to get a descriptive answer of how it is growing up really there. Is it a good area? Is it a nice area? Is it?
You know what? To me, it's always been a good area because
All right.
it's all I've known growing up. But someone
Yeah.
might think, this place is not as good as it sounds. Should I say?
Oh, yeah.
When I was as a kid growing up in Burnley, there's a place called Duke Bar. That's where I was growing up.
All right.
It was, to us, obviously we were kids and it was the best place going, but for the people, they were like, look, this is a rough place around here. It's where the Burnley riots happened as well. But to be honest, it's where I've grown up, and I think I've come out all right growing up there. And then I moved away from that area on another part of Burnley. So I've been there since 2010 now for the last 10 years. But I can't really say anything bad about Burnley because it's my hometown, innit? Born and raised. So yeah, man.
Now, I just wanted to paint a picture of you growing up. So did you get into a lot of fights, or were you like just a normal, kept to yourself?
I'd say as a young kid growing up, I was lucky in the sense I started boxing at a young age. You see, I started boxing myself when I was around 11 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So before that I wasn't doing much. Probably had the odd fight here and there as a kid. But then because I was growing up from the age of 11, sorry, as I was boxing myself, I think that kept me disciplined and focused. But then as you start growing up and you start hitting that teenage years, your hormones are everywhere. I was out fighting, and sometimes in the wrong place at the wrong time, should I say? But I had a hell of a coach who kept me focused and just goes to me, look, you need to stop messing about, getting in trouble on the streets or whatever, and just stick to your boxing. So that's what I did. So if I didn't turn up to the gym one day because I was out messing about with my mates or whatever, like he'd ring me and say, why are you not in the gym? And if I said, oh, I'm just out with my mates, he'll be like, right, where are you? I'm picking you up, you're coming to the gym. So in that sense, it did me good. So that was me as a kid. But when you're busy, because I was like going for a run in the morning, then going to school, after school going to mosque, after mosque straight to boxing. By the time you come home, all what you want to do is go to bed.
You're exhausted, right? I got you exhausted, right? After that one. So speaking about your coach, would you say he was a big component in what you've become today in the sense of mentorship wise? You needed that kind of mentor. Maybe if you didn't have that, you would have gone in a different direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. He was a coach, but he's like a father figure to me as well. From the age of, he seen me grow up, as a kid going into that gym like 10, 11 years old, and I was at that gym till I was about 18.
Okay, yeah.
So they're like crucial years. You can either go one way or the other, and I think he played a massive role. He played a massive role to me because I think without him, I think I would have just gone down the wrong road. As a teenager, I had like, how can I put it? Like always fired up, always got the energy just to mess about or do whatever. And like myself, I was looking the way that I let it out in the gym. All these people let it out on the street, on the road, messing about, doing whatever. But I was looking that sense that, I let it out in the gym. Because it didn't, I think as a teenager, it didn't used to take me much, to click.
Yeah.
someone says to me, and I'm like, I need to kill this guy, but because I had that discipline from boxing, just being patient, as you're boxing first round, like I saw that we got another few rounds here, slowly start building yourself up. I learned to be a lot, disciplined and, keep it in and hold it and, use it in the right way.
Yeah, because I think that when you're doing something like boxing or anything, any other martial art, when you're getting hit and you're getting humbled every day in the gym, you kind of you don't need to prove anything when you're out there, maybe in the streets or in another environment. Whereas other people who have never been in that do the sparring or anything like that, they kind of have to prove themselves, or they have to. Would you agree with that? Or
I say absolutely. Like when I'm now, obviously, I'm growing up, and
yeah,
I try to keep myself to myself now. But as a youngster, when everyone's fighting and saying, "Oh, who's harder out of him and him?" and do you reckon
yeah,
you can fight? Do you reckon you can have him? I didn't really have that issue because, like, without sounding big-headed or however, like people knew what I was about. They knew I was boxing. They
yeah,
knew I was boxing. On the street. I didn't have to prove much. You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
odd times, trouble used to find me, should I say?
Yeah,
And you've got to prove yourself. But that's just part of growing up, I guess.
yeah.
Um,
I was gonna ask you that. Like, was did anyone try to start trouble with you just because you were a boxer, or was it
they
they
didn't
just
they
knew?
didn't really. I'd say they didn't really start trouble because they knew I was
Mm,
a boxer. The people that started trouble were people that didn't really know me, should I say?
okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I get you, yeah,
Uh, everyone does messed up stuff.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Growing up, so like, just say when I've been out and about with the lads, and I just say on a Saturday night or something, I've gone out or something, and like here and there, trouble used to find me. Like someone might start on me, and even then I'd say, look, allow it, leave it or whatever. But it gets to a stage where it's on you, innit? Either you come
Yeah.
out on top, or you bottom in it,
Yeah.
you know. To be honest, like Burnley, I'm good in the sense because it's a small town as well. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Most of the people in Burnley, like I get along with fine, they're my mates, but it was just when I used to go out, like just say out in Manchester or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
trouble used to find me, then obviously, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, yeah. So, moving on from your childhood, so you got started in boxing at 11 years old. So I just wanted to ask you, how did do you remember your first day in the gym? So when you first went to a boxing gym?
Yes, so when I first started the boxing gym, it was actually some lads at the mosque that were going. They said to me, like, do you fancy coming with us? So I was like, yeah, like I've always wanted, at that time, I always wanted to box. Like my uncle used
Mm,
to, do a bit with me at home and stuff, but I never
yeah.
really stepped the boxing. So I went and I didn't really know what to expect. So I've gone with my mates, and I just remember going up these stairs, and I swear to God, the stairs must have been going on for like 10 minutes. It was like right at the top of a factory. Um, it was, and as I've gone up this, um, it was like a proper old school gym.
Yeah.
You can smell the sweat.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There's
yeah,
just
yeah,
you can smell the old bags, and I just thought, where the hell have I come to?
yeah.
You know, I just thought this is a. I was expecting something different.
Yeah,
And I've gone in. It was like how can I describe it? Like when you watch Rocky and you
yeah,
walk
yeah.
in somewhere and everything's the same. It was like that. People in the on the bags, skipping everything. I just thought, wow. And that was my first day at the gym, and then I never looked back since.
So it's like an old school boxing gym, right? Old classic.
The gym. It was like the most old school gym I've been into, I think.
And so from there you started amateur boxing. So what was your amateur record then?
So as an amateur, I had around 41 amateur fights, and I've
Oh,
lost 5.
oh wow. So and what weight class did you compete at?
I come up. So as a kid, I started boxing at. Well, I started off at 64 kilos, which was
Okay.
lightweight. Then I dropped down to 61
Mhm.
kilos, and then as I was growing, I started going up. So I boxed at 61, 64, 67 kilos, 70 kilos. I boxed at 72, 75, 77. The heaviest I boxed at was 81.
Okay. Yeah.
81 kilos I boxed at, but that weight was too big for me. I had a bit of break from boxing, and my first fight back was against the lad who's ranked #1 at cruiserweight.
Oh,
I
okay, wow.
had about a 3-year layoff from boxing, from the age of
Wow.
like 18 to 21, I think it was. Whilst I was at uni, what it was, I was 18 to 21. I didn't box, and then my first fight back that I had, because I wanted to go back to a high level of competition, which I was at before I left.
Yeah.
The fight I put was against a lad who's ranked #1 in the UK at cruiserweight.
Wow.
And I just about made 81 kilos. I just about made 81, and he come in like, I think the cruiserweight limit was like 81 to 85, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he come in like 4.5, because it was like at championship category.
Yeah.
My God, man, I forgot how hard boxing was, man. I, it was
Yeah.
hard. I got split. My eye split in the first round, blood's pouring out. But I just had to graft and get on with it, and ended up beating him.
Wow.
But I think it was by unanimous decision as well. But after that day, I thought, wow, as a kid, because I was just constantly boxing and thinking, you don't really think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And when I boxed him at the age of 21, I just thought, bloody hell, I better get my act together, And then from there, I just started competing and boxing again till the age of 24. It was, yeah.
Okay, and you were in Team Great Britain for a while, right? What year were you selected?
So I boxed for after that cruiserweight fight.
Yeah.
At the age of 21, I boxed for Team GB after that.
Okay.
And the lad who I lost to,
Mm-hmm.
was a lad who previously won the bronze medal in the Olympics.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It was a big, platform I was boxing at. But even then, I was boxing at a weight class of 81 to 85, which they thought was suitable for me. But like looking back now, it was like I was too small for the weight, because the weight I should be boxing at should have been middleweight.
Yeah. So like, what's your walking around it? Was it 81 when you were at that weight class, or was it heavier?
Basically, because I was out of boxing for a while. The fight before that, I think I was about 77 kilos.
Okay, and then
So when I was about 17, 18, and then when I come back after, when I was about 21, I think I was up to about 84 kilos. So I dropped to 81, but it was just weight, like body fat on me.
Yeah.
Because they were saying to me, look, you don't want to shock your body too much, making weight, cutting weight, this, that. Boxed 81, which I did, and it was hard, man. It was a hard slog. But then after that,
yeah, would you say it was was it the power, or was it like they were just big guys, right? Like, because
what it was, they were big guys. What it was, they were big guys, yeah. But the power of them, it weren't really the power of them.
Okay.
It was how quick I was like, how quick lactic acid was building up in my arms and my shoulders.
All right, yeah. So
and like, because it went my right way, I was just gassing out quick, So I'm getting through this part, but I know I'm not boxing at 100%. I knew I was boxing like at 70-80%. Because then what happened after that? I dropped weight back down to 76 kilo, 77, 76 kilo. And the first fight that I boxed at 76 kilo, I ended up knocking the guy out in the third round.
wow. Okay. So were you like a finisher then in boxing? Were you not dropping guys? Were you finishing guys, or?
My kind of style of boxing was more of a counter fighter.
Okay, yeah. Lay back and then get the counter.
Make a mistake. But as a kid, I weren't always like that, because you learn as you go on. So when I first started boxing, I was like, as soon as the bell goes, I was just in the guy's face trying to batter him. That was that was me.
Yeah.
As soon as the bell dive in and just start, picking up them points. But then as I started learning my own kind of style, boxing as a counter fighter, boxing with brains rather than just heart. That's the type of fighter I am.
Yeah.
Where I'll set stuff up. I'll set traps for them. I might have my hand, like a touch low.
Yeah.
Wanting them to come to simple. And then, but I know they go in there and then, counter on that. Make them say catching shots and shooting. That's more of the fighter that I am.
Okay, and the head guard rule in amateur.
Yeah.
So they changed that, right? So it was head guard first, and then a couple of years back they changed it to no head guard, right? Were you in the middle of that transition because you took 3 years off? So before you started again, you were doing head guard, right? I'm guessing, and then when you came back, there was no head guard.
That's right, yeah. So before I left, there was head guards. You were just boxing with head guards on.
Yeah.
And when I come back at the age of 21, there was no head guards. So it was different. It was weird, man.
Yeah. Because
if anything, though, boxing without a head guard, it made me more alert. Because when you got a head guard, and automatically you've got that sense of protection, haven't you?
Okay. Yeah.
Without a head guard, you got to be switched on because punch lands is taking you out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Head guard's not padding, but it's just that thing that something's on my head.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. That. I was gonna say, in sparring, because I've sparred in head guard and no head guard. I've noticed, like, when you wear head guard, although they say scientifically it doesn't help with the brain damage or anything, but I've noticed, like, you have that sense of security, right? When you're wearing the head guard, like, even if you're getting hit, you got a little bit of protection. Whereas without the head guard, you're constantly on your alert with your senses, right? So, would you agree with that? Or?
100%. I think when you're sparring, you got a head guard. Head guards are good in sparring when, to protect you and your sparring partner from getting cuts and stuff. So you're not clashing. Stuff. But you do get a sense of that kind of security. Like when you do get hit, you're not really fussed. You think, whatever, innit? But the thing is, that's where a person themselves has to go to switch that and think, you know what, I'm not gonna get caught. My head guard's not gonna get caught as well.
Okay, yeah.
So when you box, I think as I was maturing and getting older, that's one thing I took in, where before it was like you're getting hit, but I saw that head guard's on. But then it got to a stage where in my head I programmed, look, if they can't hit me with the head guard on, and then they're not going to hit me when I've got the head guards off, because there's a bigger surface area to hit with the head guard on.
Yeah. So
but the first time I boxed with that head guard on is when I got cut, so that gave me a bit of a wake up call as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. You were mentioning so how long were you? You came back 21. So how long were you doing amateur for another year, or was it?
I boxed from the age of 21 till 24. Sorry, 21 till 23. I boxed.
Okay.
And then 2 years, and then after that, I ended up I needed a change, and I just need, like, in my head was to go pro as a professional.
Okay, I was gonna.
As a young kid, that's all I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to the age of 23, I went to this gym in Manchester, Colliers and Moston.
Okay.
It's a famous gym. They've had hundreds of champions in that gym. And I went to that gym just to check it out and see what it was like. And when I went into that gym, I never looked back. I was there for a year. I had my first professional fight lined up and stuff. I was training there. It was like it was a job. I was there 5 days a week. You're there 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're running at night. It was a job. But then, so from the age of 23 to 24, I was there.
Yeah. And so you went Manchester, you're training. So I read that you were gonna have your pro debut in 2018, right? So then why didn't you get into your why didn't you start your pro career?
When I was 18, sorry.
No. I said in 2018, right? You were supposed to have your first year. So why didn't the pro fight happen then? Because you.
Right, so basically, what happened in 2018? Everything was set out. The fight was, I was meant to box at Middleton Arena in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it was on 28th of July. I still remember the date, man. 28th of July, 2018. And what happened, basically, the boxing board got back to me, and they said, due to your eyes, we can't give you your license. But what it was, all my other stuff from the medical, everything was going through. So in my head, I was set to fight. I was selling tickets, everything.
Yeah.
And on that fight, that's when they decided to get back to me and said, look, we've reevaluated your license, and because of your eyes, we can't allow you to fight. And the problem that I had with my eye was keratoconus, where your pupil shaped like a rugby ball. So
okay.
So when the light hits it, rather than hitting it and bouncing straight back, it used to hit and bounce off a different way.
All right. So
But I've had it as a kid, and it didn't like me, you know, boxing or anything. But it's a genetic thing. Like I've got it, my mum's got it, my brother's got it.
okay.
You know, but due to that reason, and the front layer of my eye was softer than a normal person's.
Wow.
The front. So what I did then was I went to London and I went to Moorfield Eye Hospital, and I got private surgery done for my eyes, where they strengthened the cornea at the front of the eye, and it was laser treatment as well. So it stops the rugby ball like getting more sharper.
Yeah.
So it improves your and it protects the front layer of your eye, so it's a lot more hard. So I got that done, but it still wasn't enough. It's improved my vision. My eyesight has got a lot better with it, but it still didn't meet the the requirement for the boxing board.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't able to, unfortunately, go ahead with my license.
Wow. So week of the fight, you sold tickets, and then you get told that, right? That must have been quite, because it's your dream, right? Professional boxing, but I guess health comes first, right? Then before anything, in the sense, because there was a UFC fighter called I don't know if you heard, Michael Bisping, UK. Yeah. So he lost one of his eyes, right? So he actually lost one of his eyes. So I guess it was maybe better that it was better in the long term that you didn't do the boxing, because if you kept on getting hit in the eye, then maybe it would have got a lot more worse than what it was at the time, right?
Like now, as I've got older, like you realize, look, health is everything, and like I believe everything happens for a reason. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be, and I believe that, if I did go into the ring, I could have got blind. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're just wounded, innit? You're thinking,
Yeah.
I don't care what's on the part.
Yeah. And man, health comes first. Mick, and I saw you. So speaking on health, you're obviously, you got into personal training, right? So
Yes.
So how did that?
I studied. Go on, sorry.
So how did that transition occur then? The personal training. How long have you been personal training then?
So what happened when I went to uni? I did 2 degrees at uni, but I didn't really do it to train anyone. I did it for myself, just for knowledge. Because in my head, from a young age, all I want to do is box. As a professional boxer, that's all I want to do. So when I went to uni, I didn't really go to uni to get a job out of it. I went to uni to just educate myself, so I can make myself a better athlete for when I was boxing.
Yeah. So
I went to uni. I did a foundation degree in health and personal training, and then I did a BA honours in exercise and fitness management.
Oh wow, okay. And so did you start?
Go on, sorry.
Okay.
So from there, what happened? I did that, and then from the age of 21, when I started boxing, like I realized that if I'm all I'm gonna do is box, like I've got to be doing something, on the side. So I started doing a few PTs, but it was nothing much. It was just a few PTs here and there. I'm a gym, which is Muscle Factory in Burnley.
Oh, okay.
So I just started there, just doing bits and bats, and it's mainly rather than the personal training side, it's more the boxing coaching side, because there was a lot of local MMA fighters coming up. 21 especially, and they had fights coming. They were like, "Oh, can you help us take us on pads and do a bit of boxing with us and learn us a few?" So from there, that's where the personal training and boxing side started coming in. So I started coaching boxing, but it's mainly just to the fighters and just to get them ready, for the cage fights and stuff like that. And then I had a few slowly start building up. Some people are, they're having like charity boxing fights and stuff. They want me to train them up for and stuff like that. And from there, it started slowly building up. And then when I realized I couldn't box anymore, that's when I thought, well, this is what I need to do now.
Yeah. So you got your coaching fighters. So how many people do you have like on this table, or is it just like anyone just comes in, like fighters wise?
Fighters, man. So you have the MMA lads who fight like consistently. So I'd say there's about 8 to 10 of them.
Oh, okay, wow.
And then have some people coming in that who who fight for these charity boxing fights. So they'll
Yeah,
come in
yeah,
with no experience, no, they can train for this charity boxing fight. So I have them coming in depending like when the fights are, and then I have other clients coming in where they just want to learn how to box, for themselves and keep
yeah,
fit,
yeah.
more like boxercise kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of clients really, but you know, because boxing is my passion and that's all I've done as a kid. I love teaching people, and sure, especially when they go in a fight and I see what I've taught them, pays off.
Yeah, yeah, that must be quite rewarding, right? When you see them, they're able to slip and then they're able to jab it just within, like, so example, the people that are doing a charity boxing match, they're kind of overcoming their fears in a way, right? Because a lot of people are, there is a lot of fear to do boxing or these kind of sports. So it is quite a rewarding career in a way. Would you?
Absolutely. Like, I put it on Facebook the other day. A client that I think it was last year or year before,
Mm,
and he come in. He was a strong man. That all he did was lift heavy stuff. He didn't know
okay.
how to box. He had no experience in boxing. Like no
Wow.
experience. Like just he was just solid. He was just like lifting heavy stuff. And the space and in the space of 10 weeks, he completely changed.
Wow.
He went from a strong man into an athlete and a boxer. I got him super fit for the fight. You know, all his boxing technique was on. Everything was on point. And the lad he fought had previously had some boxing experience. And the lad I was training was like the underdog. Everyone thought he was gonna lose,
Yeah.
and he went in there. And I'm sure it was the first round he knocked the guy down. I'm sure it was twice. And in the second round, he battered the lad, and the referee stopped it, and they ended up knocking the guy out. And that's a guy who's never competed before, at any level. I think he just went on the bag a few times just for a bit of cardio, and that was about it.
Well, I
You
think it
know,
shows your coaching. I think that reflects your coaching ability as well on how you're teaching people. It must be, a lot better than a lot of other people in the sense like you're getting solid results with people. Are you getting them kind of results regularly, or would you say?
I think like in the last 3-4 years of everyone I've coached, I think there's been about one or two losses.
Wow. Oh yeah,
One or
that's.
two, these lot will come in. They've never boxed before,
Mm,
but when I'm training them and they're under me, I make sure everything's bang on, especially when they're competing.
yeah.
The training's bang on, the diet's bang on, the cardio's bang on. There's no messing about going out, because I say to him, look, if you're here just to mess about and waste my time, you'd rather not come. I'd rather you, go and go to someone else or go because, I want to keep my reputation as well,
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
coach. I don't want people coming in when they're just messing about. But even like little stuff that I see, like Shweb in his last fight when he fought in Saudi Arabia,
Shweb Yousef, yeah. We had him on the last episode, right? For the people that don't know who you're talking about, yeah. So
he boxed in Saudi Arabia and he ended up absolutely battering this
you
guy.
break.
But it's in the second or third round where he jabs him.
Yeah,
You hear me?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
can hear
where,
you
where
now.
he
Yeah,
jabbed him, he gives the guy a left jab and the guy drops. And I just thought that was like the highlight for me, just
yeah,
dropping someone with
yeah.
the jab.
We were actually talking about that in my interview with him. I was saying to him that jab, I could see the improvement in that from your first few fights all the way to your recent fight. The jab and a few other things, I could see a lot of improvement in the boxing and the clinch. So that's credit to you, right?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. But Shweb's a grafter. Whatever I say to him, he absorbs it
Yeah,
like a sponge, and he'll just keep practicing it and getting it right. You have some fighters that don't like going in the, where they're not comfortable. Like I'll
mm,
teach them some stuff, and they're like, "Oh no, can we do this? Because I know I'm comfortable with this rather than this." But Shoaib's one of those guys. Like he'll try it. He'll try. Some stuff that worked for me, that used to work for me as a boxer, might not work for other people.
mm,
You know, some stuff that they like do might not work for me. Every box is different. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but with Shoaib, like I just throw him like just say 10 different stuff. You know, and after that, six might work for him. 4 might not, but
yeah,
he'll go through all the 10 stuff, and have a go at it and have a crack at it, which is the main thing.
yeah. And
It's the only way fighters are going to develop, by learning new stuff, and getting better.
yeah, because for your area generally, like we got obviously you got Shweb Yusuf now. How do you see him being world champion caliber? Because I definitely see it, especially out of the Pakistani MMA fighters.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. You know what it is with Shweb, bro? He lives in the gym. All he does is train and eat, sleep, MMA, bro. You know, and he's talented. Like a lot of people say he's talented, yeah, which he is, but it's his hard work that gets him through
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the guy's a grafter, man.
yeah. And I was telling,
He travels to Sheffield. Say it again.
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say like I go to him. You should have more of a following because if you look at his amateur and then his pro, it's really hard to uh, have that kind of record in MMA, especially.
You know, absolutely, man. You know, but you know, I'm sure with time,
Yeah,
there's a lot more people start to see him and stuff. I think because his fights and organizations he signed with have been abroad, that
yeah,
maybe like not people in the UK have seen that much of him. But in Burnley, Nelson, you know, Manchester, like is a well known lad and very
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
You know, but it's about getting him on that world level and getting them followings from overseas.
Yeah, yeah, that's why we got him on the podcast to get you a lot more. We need to get more recognition for the Pakistani coaches, fighters. So
I appreciate, appreciate it.
so so how for personal training. So getting back to personal training, how would you say
Yeah.
for the money wise, like because people think they watch these Instagram people on Insta and they've got loads of followers that personal training is just you just make money easily. Would you say it's a hard graph, right? In the sense like building up clients from nothing, and then would you agree or
Absolutely, like your clients. You know, there's a lot. You know what it is with personal trainers. Like they all do the same thing. You see, they all
yeah
train people. They all train people. They're all doing whatever. So it's a hard industry to get into because there's that much of them. But what it is, like what I found with myself is you need a niche market. My niche selling point is I coach boxing. I box myself. I
yeah
coach boxing. You know that's the bit that sells for me. And that's why like in the boxing side especially like I'm popular because there's not many people around that have boxed themselves and then coach as well.
Yeah, so personal training is a graft. So carrying on to personal training, you're obviously in good shape. So I've seen you on Insta, you're in top shape, right? So I want to lean down, right? So what advice would you give someone like me who wants to lean down or
First of all, I'd say sort your diet out. You
all
know,
right.
diet is key because a lot of people think they go in the gym and we're training and we're not losing weight. You know, in the gym you're only there for
Mm.
an hour and a half, whatever. What about the other 23 hours? You know what you're doing there. You
Yeah,
know, it's same whether you're trying to put on muscle or whether you're losing fat. Diet is key and diet's everything. You know, and what I normally tell my clients is the most important. I was chatting to my mate yesterday about this actually.
yeah.
I said the most important thing you could do is start weighing your food out. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people don't weigh the food out. They'll have chicken and rice, but it'd be like probably a plate to feed two people or whatever.
Mm.
But once you start weighing your food and you have that consistency going in your body, that's where you can start changing stuff around. So just say you're having, I don't know, just say you're having 120 grams of rice and 150 grams of chicken. You stay on that, just say for a week, see how your body reacts, and then slowly bring it down to 100 grams, then bring it down to 90, 85. See how your body works, and you start seeing the weight coming off you nice and easy. Rather than having a big drop, because when people lose weight, you should lose weight as in like a lifestyle kind of thing, rather than
Mm-mm.
if you just drop, you're gonna shoot straight back up.
Yeah, because so what you're talking about for the people that may not know, like, is about macronutrients, right? So carbs, fats, uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
your
proteins.
fats, your rice, your pasta, bread,
Yeah.
potatoes, your protein, like your chicken, fish, steak, eggs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And so lean down. And for training wise, what would you recommend? Because you don't want to get
For
skinny
training,
fat, right?
no, you don't want to get skinny fat. What I don't tell people is get into kind of like CrossFit kind of workouts where
Yeah.
it's like resistance training, but also it's keeping your heart rate up as well.
All right.
You've got that type of training, and then I'd say you do your cardio in the morning, but also get some weight training and stuff as well. Because I see too many people. I see too many people just doing cardio, and they get too skinny. You know, but then what happens? Sorry, I'm just plugging my charger in.
Alright.
What happens is, sorry, yep, there we are. What happens is when they're training, when they're just doing cardio and stuff, they start thinking, oh no, I need to lose some more, I need to lose some more because the muscle's not showing the meat. You know, it's only but if you're doing weight training as well, you know, that muscle's gonna start pushing through.
Yeah, and which will lower your body fat, right? From packing on the muscle. Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. But main thing you can do is start on your diet.
Diet, okay. Yeah. All right. So for people that are listening,
Keep
diet, yeah.
everything diet, man. Keep everything simple. Don't go too crazy. Don't start adding all the crazy stuff in, you know, and try keeping it consistent. So you say, for instance, if you're having porridge in the morning, you might have chicken and rice twice after that, and then you might have in the evening have something like a fish with veg or something. Simple.
Yeah.
Keep everything rather than adding this and then tomorrow I'll add that and I'll put this in and record everything you do. And after a week, you can send it in to me and I'll help you.
and because there's some people they go on some crazy diets like juice diets, and I think there's one called Cambridge diet where you're just drinking a fluid. So yeah, but I think macros, counting your macros and keeping on top of it is probably the best solution, right, with cutting weight efficiently.
Of course, man. Especially like athletes as well. You know, keeping that energy level is just as important. The last thing you want to do is come down, crashing down, and you know, you're in a fight and you can't box after the first round.
Yeah, and so moving on from there. So I saw you had a picture with Bugzy Malone, was it? So did you lot do a training session together?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So what it was at that college at St. Boston, Bugzy Malone used to train there as well. No, he still
Oh,
trains there.
okay.
So it's the same gym where he's at. So what used to happen? All the pros used to go in the morning at 10, and sometimes Bugzy Malone used to be there training as well.
How would you rate his boxing skills?
His boxing skills good, you know.
Yeah.
His boxing skills good. His boxing skills good. Like, you know, you see some people that just you know, just do it for, you know, like for like a little video to go online or on YouTube or something like that. But he's boxed before as well.
Yeah.
He's boxed before as well. So and his skill and stuff is, you know, is good.
Did you spar him, or was it just like pad works? Or
No, he was just. I think that day he was in training. He was, I think he was doing bag work and shadow boxing and stuff.
okay.
I'm sparring him. I'm sure it was some lad from Leeds or something that come down to do some sparring with me. You know, so I didn't get to spar him. No.
Just thought I'd ask you a bit, you know. So you met quite a few personalities, right? Like Amir Khan, and I've seen a few others. So who would you rank like number one right now in boxing, in your opinion?
I'd have to say Canelo. I'd say Canelo's
Okay,
number one at the moment. You know, it's tearing people apart, innit?
Yeah. And so we're gonna get onto some lighter questions. Actually, before I get into that, how did you get your nickname Magic?
Magic, right?
Okay,
That was my old coach, man. You know, that name's that people, even to this day, people call me Magic.
Wow.
Basically, what happened? I was boxing in the championships. I'm sure it was. I was boxing the championships as a kid. I think it must have been about 13, 14. And my coach at the time was like, "Oh, we need a land. We need like a name for you." I was like, I don't know. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We need a name for you." He goes, "How about Magic?" That's what he said. How about Magic? He goes, "Magic Majeed's gonna ring to it." And I go, "I don't know." I go, "Yeah, whatever." But I didn't really pay no attention. I was like a kid in my own world, probably God knows, dreaming about what I'm having to eat when I go home or something after making relationships. And Magic, and the gym, you started calling me Magic. Like whenever you call me Magic, you know, you sparring Magic, you're on bags. And from there, everyone else started calling me Magic, and it stuck to me ever since.
Wow. So okay, so you coach calling Magic, and then now we're gonna move on to some lighter questions. So, do you have any other interests or hobbies? in general, other than boxing or coaching? Or
I don't think I do, you know. I think
nah,
he just.
just full.
I don't think I do. I don't. Nah, not really.
Okay, yeah. Shweb had the same answer.
I'm gonna say I like training, like weight training, running, but I guess
Okay,
it all comes underneath the
on the
same
same category.
umbrella.
Yeah. So, all right. So, favorite. So let's get into a little. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. I just want you to answer quick. So, favorite punch,
Favorite punch is the hook.
hook, left or right?
Left hook and southpaw.
Pardon, left hook. I can't hear
I
you.
said my left hook because I'm a southpaw, so it's my left hook.
Oh, okay, left hook. Okay. Favorite boxing combination?
Favorite boxing combination. I'd say it's a left uppercut to the head, right hook to the body.
Oh, okay. So, if you had one boxer you could fight any weight class, who would it be?
If I could fight anyone,
Any weight class, any boxer.
that's a hard one, you know.
Gun to the head. Yeah, which one? So you got a gun to the head. You got to pick any boxer.
I'd say Floyd Mayweather. I'd love to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you two options. I want you to pick one for me. So the
Yeah,
first one is Amir Khan and Prince Nassim.
Prince's team.
Oh, okay. Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson.
Muhammad Ali.
All right. Um, and roti or chawal? I can't hear you.
Roti.
Oh, roti. All right. And
One
gulab
second,
jamun
on
or
his phone.
rasmalai?
Yep. Gulab jamun.
And strength or conditioning or road work?
It's gotta be road work.
Road work. Serious.
Road work, man. Road work gets you fit,
All
man.
right. All right. I was surprised by that one. All right. Pad work or bag work?
Bag work.
Pad work. Yeah.
100% bag work. Bag work.
Bag work.
Bag work, man. Bag work.
Okay. And the last one is if you had to play for a cricket team, Pakistan or England?
I'll have to go with England, you know.
Hey, serious?
I'll have to go with England, me, bro.
Yeah, okay, England it is, man. So you lot heard it. So I'd like to thank you for your time, bro. And are there any sponsors or anyone you'd like to shout out?
I'd like to shout out, yeah. RPC is one of the sponsors that's sponsoring Shweb at the moment.
Okay.
You know, and he's helping him massively. You know, I'm sorry I don't know the rest of Shweb's sponsors on top of my head, yeah. But you know, sponsor was, you know, he's doing amazing, and you know, he's helping Shweb massively. And if there's anyone else that like to sponsor Shweb, you know, he's up and coming. You know, he's getting places. You know, so if there's anyone else there, you know, contact the team, and you know, we'll go from there.
And where can people find you on social media?
So social media on Snapchat and Instagram, I'm under Magic_Majeed. On Facebook, I'm under Uwais Majeed.
All right. So Magic_Majeed and Uwais Majeed on Facebook. So you heard it, people. So just like to say, man, keep up what you're doing. You know, hopefully we'll get to see a few world champions in the future from you. So inshallah. So I hope to speak to you in the future. So inshallah. Take care, man. Assalamu alaikum.
Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview. I'd like to thank Uwais Magic Majeed and Shaheen MMA Management for the opportunity. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and press the bell notification. We're over 500 subs now. Please, let's make it to 1K soon. Make sure you support the podcast. Peace.